So everyone, welcome to my video on the menu system on the EOS 70D. I'd like to say before I go any further that I'm really happy with the EOS 70D. We took it out on a job the other day and it absolutely did superb. I used it for video, not for pictures unfortunately, but it did do a fantastic job. So without further ado, if we just take the menu button off and then take it back on, you'll see in the first menu we've got our quality VF grid display. That's so when you're looking through the viewfinder through the actual eyepiece you can have a grid. I've got it turned on because I like it. I think it looks good. Then you've got your viewfinder level, which is a built-in level which shows you when your camera's straight or not. Then you've got your beep enable, which as a quick tip I always turn off when I'm in a church, but I do like it on all the other times. Then you've got the will it take a picture with no card in? No. And then you've got your image review time. In the second menu we've got our lens correction. Now if we click on that, you'll see that in there we've got the peripheral illumination and the chromatic aberration. I'm sure that on the 60D you don't get both of them options together, but I think you just get the peripheral illumination correction, not the chromatic aberration. Now for anybody who's not sure about this actually, I've got it both on enable, but because I shoot RAW, it's not actually enabled on a RAW file. It only gets enabled and it only works if I shoot JPEG. Then once I shoot JPEG, them two will get embedded into the JPEG. So we'll just press the menu button to come back out. Then you've got your flash control. I'll just let you have a look in there, but I don't think there's anything different to the other cameras. Just the normal same stuff as a 60D. Red eye reduction, and you've got your mirror lockup. Go to the third menu along, flash exposure compensation, ISO speed settings. What I do like, I think there's a couple of differences in here. In here you can choose your ISO range. I've got it between 100 and 256, and then you can set the auto ISO. If you're going to use auto ISO, if you're going to use manual like we spoke about before and let your ISO do what it wants, you can tell it just to go between 1 and 6400 or 1 and 128, 1 and 132, whatever. So that's a good little menu to go into. If you see, we can go over here now, we can say right, max ISO 3200. So it'll only auto ISO between 100 and 3200 if I apply it. And then press. By the way, we have got, there you go, and you see that's changed. So, minimum shutter speed. I didn't actually realise, that's good. You can set your minimum shutter speed, which is good. That's not bad. They've been doing that on Nikon for a while, haven't they, stuff like that. You've got your auto lighting optimizer, which I always leave turned off. White balance automatic, custom white balance, and these are just normal. You'll probably wonder why I'm shooting in Adobe RGB. Let me just break that down for you. Adobe RGB, it's only for JPEGs only. So if I do ever shoot JPEG, which I sometimes do, I know that when I get home that I've got a broader colour space to work with. Whereas if I knocked it to sRGB, when I get it into Photoshop, if I want to push that saturation up 10% and the vibrance 20, I'll get much better results by embedding the Adobe RGB colour space. But in a RAW file, it takes no notice of it, it means nothing. Then you've got your picture style, and you've got all your normal stuff in here, which is just normal. Then you've got your HDR mode, which I'm not using at the minute. And then you've got your live view enable. Then you've got your, this is your AF mode. I've got it at the minute on face detection plus tracking, so that when I'm doing my videos, it will try focus on faces and it will track. Continuous AF. That's the same thing. Touch shutter, that's kind of new. I think they've got that in the EOS 70, grid display, and your ratios and your exposure simulation, which is not new. Anything new here? Nothing new here. Just your silent live view shooting modes. Let's just have a look here. There's nothing really new here either. Photo book setup. Oh, that's new, I think. Then you've got your resize, your rate and your slideshows. Highlight alert, which I always have on, which obviously tells you when something's blown out. AF point display shows you where you focused, but as I focus and recompose, it pretty much means nothing because it'll show you focus somewhere you didn't. You've got your playback grid if you want that on for the rule of thirds. Your brightness and your movie play count. And all this is the same as usual. You'll have seen this plenty of other times on your 5D, your 50D, your 60D. All that's pretty much. You've got GPS. This hasn't got a built-in GPS, this. So I don't know why that's there. It must be if we buy one. Then you've got your time. And obviously all these aren't new either. There's a couple of new things in here. You've got your touch control and you've got your Wi-Fi, which is good. Sorry, I keep knocking the camera. I'm stood behind the video camera, so if you see it move, I apologise for that. So you've got your Wi-Fi built in here so that you can send pictures to iPhones and stuff like that when you've taken them. You can also control this camera with an app, which is good, from your iPhone. Then let me just have a look in here. You've got your just standard custom function settings, and these are your this is your custom menu, and as you can see I've got the beep in there, I've got my flash control, custom white balance and highlight tone priority, because highlight tone priority is handy to have on when you're in contrasty situations. I know that you can't turn your ISO under 200, but 200 ISO, it's 1600 ISO on this 70D, it's probably like 200 on a 50D or something, so it's 200 ISO is irrelevant anyway. Let me just go back here and we'll have a little look in the custom menus, and you can look. We'll just start off at the very beginning. We have got our exposure. Remember when I've spoke about the 1/3 of a stop rule, where you or 3 clicks to do a full stop on your wheel? Well, you can see mine's set to 1/3 of a stops. So it means if I move my wheel or my shutter 3 clicks, that'll get a full stop. So that's that one, and then you can set it to half a stops. I recommend leaving it on the default, which is 1/3. ISO speed settings, same setting, but for ISO 1/3. You've got your bracketing and your number of bracketed shots. Oh, that's good. You can set your number. That's not in the 60D either. You can set your number of bracketed shots, so you can bracket 5 instead of 3, or even 7 there, look. And then you've got your ISO speed, your shutter, and that's it in that menu. We'll go to the autofocus. Now I'm not going to be able to explain to you everything, but as you can see, we have the tracking sensitivity. Now I'm not going to explain to you what these do because I don't quite know myself. I know they're to do with, if you look in the manual, they're to do with how sensitive that your AF tracking is, so you can turn it up so it's more keen and less keen for the face. But I'm not really going to go into great detail on those. AI servo, image priority, you need to look at the book for them. They are all new to this camera though, but if you've got a 7D, I do believe they're all in there. Oops. Then you've got your AF assist beam, which is normal, your autofocus, and then on this camera you've got 3 different focusing modes, where it can use a cluster of focus points to try focus on the subject. So when the bride's walking down the aisle, if you don't just want to use your centre focus point, you can tell it to use a group of focus points, which actually sounds quite good in reality, but I've not tried it out yet, so I've not used it. But I am going to try it, because it means that it'll do a better job if it works. And then for the last one, we'll go to the... This is quite good here, because with this camera, what I never liked about the 60D was how you couldn't use your flash exposure compensation while you were looking through the viewfinder. So basically, if you took a shot and you thought, right, it's a little bit dark, is that? You could get the viewfinder on the 50D, look back through it, get your frame in, press your ISO button and turn your flash up a little bit and take the shot. Well, with this one, as you can see, I've got the set button, I've got on one of these, I think I've already set it up. Yeah, I've got the set button in the middle of the camera, this one here in the middle, so that when I press the shutter button and look through the viewfinder, if I press the set button, the flash compensation comes up and I can adjust it while I'm looking through the camera, which I'm really delighted about. Oh, no in here. Not really. You can set all your custom functions in here. There was something that we have missed, and it must come under the autofocus, and I've missed it. What we're really excited about. Ah, that's because I've missed a couple. There you go. Sorry, I missed that menu. So I do apologise. This is new back to the 70D. We had it in the 50D, we lost it in the 60D. Although in the 70D there's a couple of different features. But we've got the AF micro adjust back for the lenses. I've not really done mine yet because I'm not really having a problem with any of them. But we have got the AF micro adjust back, which means that if your lens is slightly front focusing or back focusing, you can adjust it in here. Now, from what I remember, you can, on this one, let me just go in. You see how you can do your wide adjustment. That's it. You see how you've got the W and the T? That's new. That's new. That means you can do the wide angle and the telephoto angle. Now, I used to, when I used to set it on my Tamron 17 to 50 for my 50D, I noticed that at wide angle it was okay, but at zoomed in telephoto, well, 50mm not really that much telephoto, but telephoto were where it used to front focus or back focus. And it pissed me off because when I set it for that, then when I went wide angle, I noticed a couple of those were a bit soft because I'd moved the focus slightly. So this is a good feature that's been in the 70D, where you can adjust the micro adjust for the wide angle and for the telephoto as well. Not that I've used any of them yet, but it is there, and I know a lot of people will be delighted to have it. Well, this has gone on long enough now. We've looked at the EOS 70D menus and we've had a good look, and everything's looking great. I'll just turn it back on before we finish, and hopefully that gives you a good look into the EOS 70D menu system. We will be doing a couple more videos, but I will tell you now that this is one of the best cameras, which it should be because obviously it's the latest camera I've got. I ain't got any gripes with it. It seems really, really good. When I've been on DP review and I looked at the ISO difference, when you look at an 100% crop from a 60D to a 70D, you think there's no in it. You can't tell, but you know what? That's bullshit. The 100% crop is not. When I'm looking at 6400 on that camera, it wipes the floor. It doesn't just look a little bit better. 3200 and 6400 actually wipes the floor with a 60D. But when you're looking on DP review, I thought personally that it wasn't hardly any better. But I am finding it is. I mean, even video ISO 3200, which we had to do the other day, is really stunning. There's no really noise. You can't really see it unless you're really nitpicking. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, thanks for watching. Please comment and subscribe.